4 motorcycles circulating. So at regular intervals, the tractors go out with the graders on the back, pull the shale back in. Now then, Gunnerstadt on the inside in red, Killingstadt in blue against the Germans. And in red it's Gunnerstadt, but round the outside comes Lausch, and up into third place comes Ries. Ooh, not a good race so far for Killingstadt, is it? Lausch in yellow, Gunnerstadt in red. This is good speedway racing. Oh, I thought Lausch had locked up. But he got the drive. Gunnerstadt got a bit too much drive, maybe. And Ries is holding third place for the Germans. Now, have I been underestimating the Germans in the run-up to this meeting? As yellow and black, Klaus Lausch leads Heat 3. Lars Gunnerstadt is in second. A man we saw win a meeting in his home country here on Eurosport earlier in the year. And Gert Ries is still holding off Einar Killingstadt for third. So if this situation holds up, it's going to be a 4-2 for the Germans, which would be the first surprise of this meeting. In yellow, Lausch wins, Gunnerstadt second, Ries third. It is a 4-2 to the Germans. Well, well. Now then, that's not a good start to the Norwegian campaign, is it? Some disgruntled Norwegian supporters there, I should think. Now then, this is a repeat of that heat, and you can see that Gunnerstadt in red on the inside did get the hole shot. He got the drop, but in yellow, Klaus Lausch just rode round the outside of him, got the line into the second set of bends, and Gert Ries in white was all over the other Norwegian, I beg your pardon. Look, Gunnerstadt gets the front again, but Lausch gets the drive round the outside. Gunnerstadt gets a bit of a wheelie on, and this is where Lausch gets the decisive drop. He is not headed again. Yes, so that was where that heat was won, and the Norwegian challenge must have taken a severe disappointment already. Well, the next heat we're going to see will bring the Danes out again for our second view of Hans Nielsen and Janno Pedersen, but we're going to take a short commercial break. Join us again on Eurosport in just a moment for the next section of the World Pairs Speedway Championship.
Eurosport.
Here we are back at Poznan with the Danes. Number 2, Jan O. Pedersen, one half of the reigning World Pairs champions, lining up. Hans Nielsen on the inside in the red. Sorry, Hans Nielsen in the white. Bo Brel of Czechoslovakia in the red. And in blue, it is the Czech reserve, Roman Matusek. Denmark versus Czechoslovakia. Pedersen on the outside, sweeps round as Bo Brel really gives Hans Nielsen a sorting out for second place. Bo Brel in second. An aggressive first bend from the Czech. And he's still in second. Nielsen's back in third, coming under pressure from Matusek. Dear me, this is a bit of a harder heat than the Danes might have expected. Nielsen's through though, giving as good as he got. And Jan O. Pedersen, leg trailing stylishly. It's unusual to see this man get... Hello? Pedersen stopping. I was just about to say it's unusual to see Jan O. Pedersen get such good starts, and his bike has stopped. Now then, that leaves Nielsen out the front, but obviously the best the Danes can now get from this heat is 3 points. It'll be a 3-3 heat. As they pass the stricken Dane on the inside there, it's obviously some sort of mechanical failure. Nielsen wins, as you would expect, but the Czechs pick up 3 points. 3-all. The Danes move on to 8 points. This is a chance for the Swedes, when we see them in a couple of heats' time, to take the lead. Jano getting a lift back from Hans Nielsen. Not often you see two in on a Speedway bike, is it? And you can see Jano, just from his body language, is, oh dear. He's wondering what's happened to their World Championship chances. Bobrel leads the Czechs in. He had a really good first bend. He wasn't afraid of anybody, was he? Now, here's Pedersen. He's driving here, no problem. Looks over his shoulder. Looks down. He went for the fuel tap. See the left hand? He looked for the fuel tap on the tank. Then he looked for the kill switch for where the lanyard on the rider's wrist plugs into the electrical circuit. Obviously, neither of those was faulty. Well, we'll let you know if we find out what went wrong with Jano's machine. Heat 5. The Poles come out again with Schwist in replacing Zawuski in blue, Doromisiewicz in red, and it's the Italians Fernaletto in white and Castagna in yellow and black. The Italians with just 1 point and the Poles with just 1 point from their first heat. So the home crowd will be willing the home team to do something against one of the lesser fancied nations. You were looking at number 5, Valentino Furlanetto. That is Armando Castagna, fully kitted out with the best produce of the Italian accessory industry, as you can see, and as you would expect. Right, in red, Doromisiewicz, in white, Furlanetto, in blue, Schwist, the Polish reserve, and in yellow, Armando Castagna. The Italians have swapped positions on the grid. Castagna goes for the inside. Schwist in blue on the outside, Doromisiewicz in red on the inside. Those are the two Poles in second and third place. The other Italian, Furlanetto, pushed to the back. That's Castagna. And Schwist had a look over his shoulder there to see where Doromisiewicz was. And I think the two Poles might now decide to team ride it for the 3 points for second and third places, or are they still chasing Armando? No, I don't think the Poles can afford to relax. Furlanetto in white, he might be in fourth place, but he's within range. But at the front, Armando Castagna enters the last lap. 4-lap heats as per normal in Speedway. Ooh, big full locker from the Italian. And this will mean that both Poland and Italy advance to 4 points after 2 rides. So the Poles and the Italians a little bit better off than they were at the start of proceedings. And we're going to jump straight ahead now to Heat 7. In Heat 6, the Swedes 5-1'd the Norwegians, so the Norwegians having a dreadful start, and the Swedes taking the lead after 2 rides with 10 points to the Danes 8. This, the 7th heat, Germany versus Czechoslovakia, will complete the first round of races. After this heat, everybody will have had 2 rides, and we will know exactly where we are in the point standings. So, we have Bobrel in red, the reserve for the Czechs, Matusek in blue. We have Gert Ries in white and Klaus Lausch in yellow and black. Number 12, Klaus Lausch. Bobrel in red. He's been impressive in his opening outing. He's got the space, he's got the drive. Has he got the drive? No, he hasn't. Gert Ries has the lead, the world long track champion. Brel's after him. The other Czech, Matusek in blue, is on the inside. Whoa, both Oh, both Rails got a big locker on there. Rees in white. Rees, the long track champion, heads the two Czechs. And stuck at the back, Klaus Lauch in yellow and black. This looks like another 3-all shaping up. Because I don't think the Czechs can get on terms with that very fast motorcycle in front, Gert Rees. And it would be difficult for Klaus Lauch to get between the team riding Poles. Sorry, Czechs. Sorry. So this would be 2 rides. Let's assume that point position will obtain, and I think it will. So after the first 2 rides for everybody, the Swedes lead with 10, then it's the Danes with 8, the Germans have 7 in third, the Czechs have 6, the Poles and the Italians have 4, and poor old Norway only have 3 points. Who would have thought it? Confirmation on that rather neat electronic score. The 70.5 in the top right is the time of the heat. The fastest heat we've seen so far, 68.9 in the opening one from the Danes. As we go into heat 8, which is Denmark. Here they are again versus the Italians. Now this is one that the Danes must surely, if they are to keep their world championship hopes alive, they must win this with a 5-1 margin. So we have Hans Nielsen in red and Jan O. Pedersen in blue. Those are the Danes. Furlanetto is in white for Italy and Castagna in yellow for Italy. And the Danes will be wanting another exhibition of team riding here. And the Danes hit the front on the first corner. Nielsen on the inside, Pedersen on the outside. And they're off and they're going to team ride again. They haven't even looked at each other yet. The track's a bit messy now, overwatered in places. And this is exhibition stuff. There hardly a glance there from Pedersen to see where Nielsen, his partner, is. Exhibition stuff. Poor old Armando Castagna, reduced to chasing without much hope, it has to be said, in third place. Furlanetto tailed off. Is Castagna getting within range? You can see him winding his visor strip on there. And the Danes, as Castagna is getting on terms, but the Danes have left him no room whatsoever. 5-1 to the Danes, they resume their challenge. We're going to take another short break. Back in a moment with the Swedes, who are up against the Poles in Heat 9. Heat 9 of the World Best Pairs Championship, Sweden in the shape of Johnson. Per Jonsson, the world champion, in red, and the reserve is in. Nielsen is in for Gustafsson in blue, Doromasiewicz in white, and the Polish reserve, Schwist, in yellow and black. Now the Swedes will want to give the local boys a good hammering here. Nielsen leads in blue. Round the outside comes Johnson, and in white Doromasiewicz is putting up a spirited challenge. But the Swedes have got the front, and the Swedes are going to team ride him. Now, what can the Polish lad do? Richard Doromasiewicz in white. He has the Swedes in front of him, and he would dearly love, in front of an enthusiastic home crowd, to give him something to cheer about. But I fear that the Swedes have this worked out. On the outside in red is Per Jonsson, the world champion. On the inside in blue, Nielsen. Jimmy Nielsen. He is down as the reserve, but it looks as if the Swedish team are going to give him just as many rides as they're leading to. I'm not sure if that's within the rules, of course, but it's might not be quite within the spirit of the rules. Never mind. So, has the Swedes 5-1 heat 9. They go to 15 points. The Danes are currently on 13, and we're going to go to heat 10. Norway versus Czechoslovakia. The Norwegians currently bringing up the rear of proceedings. They have Gunnestad in red, Kellingstad in blue, and it's Bo Brel in white, who has looked so combative so far, and Ramon Matusek, the Polish reserve, is in yellow and black, not Tesarch as the caption says. So the Czechs at the moment lying handy on 6 points against the Norwegians, who are on 3 points. Eastern European Speedway has not had a good time recently, and the Czechs must be scenting some sort of a comeback here, and Bo Brel has been afraid of nobody in the first corners, has he? He's really given Hans Nielsen a bit of a hook in the first corner. He got it back, of course, from the multiple world champion, but we should get a good race. In red, Per Jonsson. Sorry, Lars Gunnestad leads, and the Norwegians hit the front at last. Is this going to be a change in the Norwegian fortunes? Yellow and black is Matusek, looking around to see where his teammate is. The answer is in 4th place. Bo Brel back in 4th as the Norwegians, Gunnestad and Kellingstad. Team ride to hold off the theatrical Ramon Matusek in 3rd. And they are having to work hard because the Czech lad is after them. 1 slip, 1 gap, and Matusek is going to have a dip for it, that's for sure, as they go into the last lap. What can he do? Gunnestad in red, Kellingstad in blue, Matusek in yellow. The 2 Norwegians lead the Czechs. And unless Matusek can do something, he's looking for drive, he's not going to get it. 5-1 to Norway. Which takes the Norwegians up into 3rd place, but we're nowhere near the end, of course, of this round of rides. Heat 11 is Denmark versus Germany. Gert Ries in red, Klaus Lausch in blue. They've swapped positions on the grid. In white, Hans Nielsen. In yellow and black, Jan O. Pedersen. The Danes are aware of the Swedish challenge. Pedersen was looking to his inside, 2 bike lengths off the grid, and he goes round the outside, takes up formation with his teammates, and we're off, are we, for another Danish exhibition. Lovely leg trailing style from Jan O. Pedersen, a man not noted for his textbook starts, it has to be said. Beautiful stuff. Jan O somewhat agitatedly looking round to see what's going on. And we heard, by the way, from the pits, the reason he stopped in heat 4 was a plug lead, nothing more than a spark plug lead coming adrift. And the thoughts that could do for your World Championship hopes is almost too much to bear, isn't it? But here come the Danes. The Germans have been well and truly blown off here. Textbook team riding, not without some agitation, judging by the way the Danes are looking over their shoulders. Close formation, Nielsen on the inside, Pedersen on the outside, and Ries chases forlornly as the Danes 5-1 heat 11. Takes them on to 18 points. The Swedes are on 15, but the Swedes don't ride